evening and welcome to the Kalihi Valley Neighborhood Board number 16 meeting. Today is Wednesday, March 12, 2025, and it is now 7:06 p.m. Rules of speaking. Anyone wishing to speak is asked to click the raise hand icon and when recognized by the chair to address comments to the chair. Speakers are encouraged to keep their comments under 2 minutes, and those giving reports are encouraged to keep their reports under 3 minutes. Please ensure your microphone is muted unless you are speaking. Please state your first and last name for the record before moving into your comments or question. Written testimony may also be submitted via email using the contact information listed on the Neighborhood Commission Office website. Please silence all electronic devices. Note, the board may take action on any agenda item as required by the State Sunshine Law, Hawaii Revised Statute Chapter 92. Specific issues not listed on this agenda cannot be voted on unless properly added to the agenda. You find an archive of handouts and reference material concerning to the Kalihi Valley Neighborhood Board number 16 at our Google Drive, and meeting recordings can be found on the YouTube channel for NCO. First agenda item is Honolulu Fire Department. Are they online? And not in person either? Okay. So if Honolulu Fire Department is not here at this time, we can table them if they do come in later, and we'll move on to Honolulu Police Department.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Can everyone hear me clearly?
Yes. Outstanding.
Good evening again. This is Lieutenant Creighton Hatiko, one of the nighttime commanders here at the Kalihi Police Station. Let me provide you guys with the stats for the month of February for you guys' area. There were 3 assaults reported, 2 auto thefts, 2 burglaries, 1 robbery, no sex assaults, 3 basic thefts, and there were 551 calls for service, which is down from 660 in January. Let me give you guys a little more information. In checking on crimemapping.org, I saw that there was 3 reported weapons calls during the month. On the 27th, there was a report on the 1600 block of Lima Street, and that was involving a bat. And I don't believe anyone was arrested in that situation. And there were also 2 calls in the 1700 block of Laumalia Street. Supposedly one, it was involving a gun, but when officers arrived, there was no suspect and no gun. So there was some kind of confusion about if it occurred at some time previous, and they were just reporting it later, and then that's what happened. There was also the robbery reported happened on the 1800 block of Camp 4 Road, and that was on the 14th of February, Valentine's Day robbery, I guess. Tip of the month, recently there's been a lot of problems in traffic, especially in driveways around residential and business areas because of people in mobility devices, powered wheelchairs, also wheelchairs, regular wheelchairs. Unfortunately, the state of cars right now, a lot of times they're not visible because of the height that they sit at. So what I would suggest is as you approach any kind of intersection, so entering the street from a driveway, going into a driveway from the street, a lot of times when we're trying to observe traffic, you might miss that person in the wheelchair or walking, depending on their size. So I suggest what we do is I always tell my officers to take a breath before they turn and to make sure and double check both directions. And also when they're making the turn, they're not flying through the turn. They're trying to, they want to have the ability to stop in time if somebody pops up accidentally. I'll open it up now to any questions or concerns.
Any questions from the board? Online or in person? Seeing and hearing none, any questions from the community? Oh, yes. You can come up, too. Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you. My name's Catherine Bradley, and I'm a resident of Kalihi Valley for 20-plus years. My husband and I are newly retired, and we spend a lot of time going across the Kalihi to play golf. And the speeding on the Kalihi is extremely dangerous. If you're doing 50 miles an hour, you are actually an impediment to navigation. It's really dangerous. I mean, if you're driving 50, and big pickup trucks seem to be the prime offenders, they're going 60, 65 miles an hour. They're weaving in and out of traffic. They're going 55 miles an hour through the tunnel. If there is, and I know you guys are shorthanded, but anytime there's a patrol car just driving with that blue light, it slows down the whole parade. If there is a motorcycle officer, he can be doing nothing but cruising by, it slows it down. But it is getting to be more and more dangerous. It's more and more a problem. And, quite frankly, it's scary. Help.
I agree with you, ma'am, and I hear you. What I'll do is I'll speak to my officers about having more of a presence there, and I'll also try to get in contact with the traffic division to see if they can get some motorcycles up there. Is there a particular time of day that you're noticing where it's really heavy, or is it just the normal traffic times?
Well, usually we are coming back from the golf course probably around 5:30 or 6 o'clock. But really, just about any time of day. We'll be going to the golf course around 3:30. But red light cams, I am all in favor of. There's that overpass to nowhere that goes across the weekend. Yes. Can we have a speed cam there? I mean, people
I'm not exactly sure. I can find out.
But yes, anything that you can do in the way of red light and speed cams, we will happily support you.
Okay, not a problem, ma'am. I can make sure that happens. Not necessarily about the speed cams, but I can make sure that my guys are up there. What we've done in other areas is we've done projects where groups of officers have gone and done what we call projects, and they'll just shoot laser in the area for a certain amount of time, and then we'll try and see if we can get how many speeding tags we can get in that time. So I'll let them know that we need to start doing some up over there along with their normal patrolling, and we'll make that happen, ma'am.
Thank you. We really appreciate what you do.
Not a problem.
Thank you so much, Catherine. Do you also have one? Yes.
I'm Kathy Labuse, and I live very close to Catherine for 30 years, near Kekioka Island. We've just noticed it doesn't seem to stop cars racing up the Like. I mean, we're on the other side of the valley, and the noise is incredible. Sometimes it's in the middle of the night. I mean, it's when there's not traffic that they're gonna have a clear road to race, but it's really a noise problem. It's a danger to any poor small animal that might be. I mean, it's just really not necessary. I'm just wondering if there's anything being done currently to catch racers, or if there's anything that can be done to catch. I mean,
It really depends on police presence, ma'am, and we're trying to maintain that. But the things that we can put into place that I suggested to your friend, it'll also help along the lines of what you're thinking of. Okay.
Thank you, and thanks for everything you do. We know you're understaffed, and we
Oh,
really
no, it's not a problem, man. We make it work. We'll make it work.
thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you both for coming here in person.
Oh, yeah, sorry, well,
You should have come many more times.
Yes, please. And Mr. Gotti?
Just a question, what is, like, how do speed cams end up getting put in? Is that something you know?
I believe that's with the Department of Transportation. They're the ones that they do the studies at the different intersections, and then they do the decision about where it's going to be applied. What I can do, I can find out for sure though, because I know that the tags generated goes into our traffic division. So, but I'll try and get some concrete information for you guys by the next meeting about that process.
Great, thank you.
No problem.
And then Mr. Sun?
The speed cameras are run by the state, on the state level, so it's not on the city level, and they're the ones that did it.
So governor's office.
Yeah, the governor, well, Ikaika and,
Right. Senator.
Kathy, you raised your hand, Senator Kim's office.
Oh, okay. So Kathy.
So just to clarify, Lieutenant Hatiko is correct in that it is the DOT that determines where the speed cameras are put, the red light cams are put in. And so they have several requests, but right now all the requests that we've put in, they're still pending and up for decision. There's quite a lot of procedure and processes that go into place. They don't, it's just not based on complaints. It's also they do a pretty comprehensive traffic study involving the accident history of the location, amount of cars going through, amount of citations. So it is a process. So sorry to interrupt you, Lieutenant Hatiko. I just wanted to add to that.
No, thank you. Thank you for your input, Kathy.
Welcome.
Thank you. Are there other questions from
It's
the
not a
board?
question, but I would like to thank.
Okay, Mr. Rojas would like to thank.
Yeah, I would like to thank your team from the Kalihi Valley Police Station for escorting the cleanup across the Kalihi School, where there was like a lot of garbage there, like lots of things that does not belong on the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys made that to go forward, and I appreciate that.
Not a problem, sir. I'll relay that. I'll relay that thanks to our community policing team.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any more questions from the board or community online or in person? And if not, I do want to thank you and have a good evening, Mr. Krito Hatika. Or Lieutenant.
Thank you. You guys have a good night.
Have a good night. Up next is Board of Water Supply, Iris Oda.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Sorry, I'm homesick. Quick reports. On February 7th, there was a main breaks. On February 7th, there was a 4-inch pipe near 1717 Noe Street. And my general water announcement, I'll read what they wrote. So, Board of Water Supply is hiring. You're thirsty for a stable career? The Board of Water Supply is hiring. We have open positions in engineering, information technology, customer care, and administrative roles. Enjoy great benefits, job security, and the opportunity to grow and make a difference. It's time to turn the valve on a new career that matters. So apply today at boardofwatersupply.com/jobs or call 808-748-5160. So that's my quick announcement. Thanks.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the board, online and in person? Seeing and hearing none. Any questions from the community, online or in person? Okay, seeing and hearing none. Thank you so much, Iris, and I hope you feel better.
Thanks a lot. Okay, good night.
Good night. Up next, we have residents and community concerns, 3 minutes each. Anyone online or in person, are there any residents and community concerns at this time? Oh, do you have one, Mr. Kulai?
Not a concern, but just an announcement about supporting the KY bicycle ride.
Yes.
Talked to one of the organizer at KY, Luki. Now, can I make the announcement?
Is
About
the
now?
not yet?
Okay, the neighborhood, Kalihi Valley Neighborhood Board wanted to support the K-Vibe Aupua ride. And I talked to Luki, he works at K-Vibe office or bike shop. And he said they can, several things that they can use. One of them was a pickup truck that can give bicycle riders a ride up to the start of the ride and carry some spare bikes along the route in case they need them. And another thing that they can use is donation of water or snacks, like granola bars. And at the end of the ride, they can use some help in setting up tents and tables for feeding. They might have some snacks and eat at the end of the ride. So if anybody on the board wanted to support them, interested, you can contact Luki at the KVIBE office. So if you let me know, I can put you in touch with him. The ride is April 12th. 8 o'clock, April 12th, 8 a.m. Anyway, folks interested in helping support the Aupa'o ride, let me know. And I can put you in contact with them. And another project that we're kind of talking about is painting graffiti at Katie's Market again. I saw that thing, it's a lot now.
Well, it was a surprise. Right after they made the cleanup, we have those individuals who eventually is in that area started to paint over the graffiti.
What, they painted?
Yes, I
So
was
the
gonna
thing's
announce
all
that.
gone.
It's gone, but we can match them up with the color that we had. So
Oh, okay, because I passed by a
Let-
couple of days ago and I seen them.
yeah, I passed
Oh,
by
okay.
always.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, it's one of the girls that's been there. I guess she wanted to do something
So
good. Yeah.
no need paint.
I think we can match them up so it looks better, for beautification wise.
Okay.
Which market?
Case Market.
Kay's Market,
Where is that?
right across the street
Right
from
across.
Kalihi School.
And the
That's
community
KC
park.
Market, right?
KC Market.
KC.
Yeah, Casey Market.
Oh, KC Market.
No, wait, KC
Case-
is the
Case
same
Market.
side as the school, right?
Yeah.
This is the one across the street.
Yeah, Case Market.
Kay's Market,
Case
yeah.
That's, I think that is Kalihi.
That's
That
Kalihi.
is.
That's Kalihi Street.
Street, yeah.
That's Kalihi Street.
We did them last year, yeah,
Yeah.
we paint one time. So,
So we could paint over, and then maybe we can encourage the person to paint it over the graffiti to match the color.
just see, we get on time that we like do
We gotta make an announcement for that.
I go to both markets and it's just hard to get KC Market or K's Market, both of them, to put up cameras.
them. Oh,
It's just unbelievable that how simple a camera will go up. I mean, we'll paint the walls forever, but I've asked both of them if they would invest in a camera system to see if they can catch who's ever doing it. And the camera will deter the person from, as soon as we paint, they paint, we paint, they paint. Because over at Kalihi, they hang out at night in the park. In the middle of the night, they go across the street and do stupid stuff like put whatever that means on the wall. But the thing we need to do is try to get that market set, that put one camera on both ends to record somebody, but it's just the most difficult thing to do. KC Market gets robbed, and I'm like, could y'all put up cameras? No, we just have one at the cash register. How about putting one outside so we can see them walking in to rob you? They don't want to do that, so I'm like, okay, help yourself.
On the K's Market side, you gotta ask, person who owns the business, the building.
Well,
That's case
you know, whatever we need to do as a board, we need to go ask them, not just the person, say, who do we need to talk to? And then the person on the building should put up cameras. Because what that person does is, he don't wanna put up cameras, he just want the rent, but he want us to keep getting the walls painted for him every time they put them up. I mean, if you're gonna be a slumlord, be a slumlord. So let's just go talk to him and say, hey, let's stop being a slumlord, let's help us out.
It's a good point.
Okay, we'll follow up on that
It
suggestion.
doesn't cost much. You put up a camera for like less than $100.
Good job.
That's it.
Thank you. Are there any more residents and community concerns, online or in person?
On the telephone pole.
Oh, do you want to? Sure. You can come up.
Okay.
Yeah, you can sit there. Yeah.
I don't know if anybody spotted this, but you know, Gulick Avenue Extension, the street, it's right in front, like Kokua, Kalihi Valley, Kokua, Kalihi Valley. They have a gate, but right in front, on their side, right before the gate, there's this telephone pole. And every time I come around with it, I look at the pole, and the pole is like leaning like this, but but they do have these metal things around, so I don't know if they know that the thing is like that, but you know, but you know when you get off Liki and you turn, it's the Kalihi Valley. That's called the Gulick Avenue Extension Road. Yeah. So when I turn in, I look straight. I'm looking straight, and my head is like this, but it's kind of it's on the right. Yeah, and it's the telephone pole right
Is
there.
it towards the?
Well, it's just leaning like the top part is leaning over. That's the only pole that looks. It's not straight.
I know if you call Hiko.
But they have these metal things around too. But then I was wondering, the neighborhood must know. But then I see like certain days when I go through there, they have all their trash bins right in front that telephone pole. And then if not, a car is parked over there.
Yeah.
I can take the lead on this one, and we can ask if it's city or state or eco. And
Yeah.
if it is city, then we'll get it done, and then if not, then we'll.
Or
tell you
well,
what-
just
what it is.
if it's all right.
Yeah.
If that's the way the pole is, then fine. But I don't know if it's supposed to be leaning, like
It
that.
sounds like they had a brace.
We can look at it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Shirley. Are there any more residents and community concerns at this time?
I don't think you say it now.
Is it in regard to the poll?
No, it's about community concern, like the PSA, public service announcement.
If you'd like to, yeah, if it's someone community concern. So this is some kind of resident community concern.
So just so you guys know, the traffic cam on school in Liki is no longer a traffic camera. Besides the traffic camera, it's also a speeding camera. And starting on March 31st, the speed limit through that intersection is 25 miles an hour. If you get caught driving 5 miles above the speed limit, you're gonna get a $250 ticket. So making sure that you guys are staying within the speed limit so you don't get that $250 ticket. Right now till April 28th, it's only warnings. After that, it's a $250 ticket, and that's the starting price. So just let you know, and that's the only area that goes from 35 miles an hour to 25 miles an hour back to 50 miles an hour. And vice versa, 50 miles, 25, 35.
Kind of like a speed trap.
So for me, making sure that you guys are aware, because I do admit, coming down, I don't slow down, so.
You remember, coming off of the leak coming from Kalihi, it's all downhill.
Those red light cameras,
Yeah.
they're now speed cameras.
Yeah.
Shirley?
Who made the speed limit 25?
Don't know.
It's
It's
been a long
Because-
time.
No, because on School Street, like going School Street, it's 30 miles.
35, yeah.
30,
So-
no, 30. She lives.
But-
Yeah, I
but,
passed School Street, and then.
I know each state, school, I don't know who controls that.
Oh, okay, or maybe it's.
So, but I know it's monitoring leaky.
I don't know, we have a 30 speed limit sign up on on School Street, right there, from where I think the Decoying Church and from up towards Camp Rock. That's church, yeah, that's church.
The problem with Leaky is I've never seen a highway that's 25 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And I've been all over the country.
Yeah.
I've never seen a highway that's 25 miles an hour. And I understand 35, but you'll drop from the light you were talking about from 35. As you approach School Street, it's 25 So it's just a revenue making machine. Because you on a national highway doing 25 miles an hour, what's residential streets are. So they might want to change Leaky Leaky from Leaky Leaky Highway to Leaky Leaky Street. So they can make that money that they're gonna make by charging you.
And this is all for all the red light cameras are now speed cameras too, so there's 10 of them. There's 4 of them right on Vineyard. But who drives speeds on Vineyard? It's so bumper to bumper on Vineyard.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to make the yellow light,
Yeah, don't stop
Don't
it.
do it.
Don't do it anymore.
Don't do it.
I used to do that.
It's not
That's
about
probably
the
the most likely time.
Yeah, with the speed, it's about
No,
approaching the yellow light.
no, hit the brakes, and if you get rear-ended, it is what it is.
Let's do a camera catch the accident for you.
You know, they'd rather have, rear-end accidents than people speeding.
Only small cities, every major city in the United States, like LA and New York, took out their red light cameras because they caused more accidents than they solved. But only small municipalities like Beverly Hills and California, they do it because they generate revenue. And these cameras are a big money maker for Honolulu. So they're never gonna take them out, regardless of how many accidents you get rear-ended. But if you want studies on red light cameras, just look at all the major cities on red light cameras. All of them took out their cameras because they caused more accidents than they solved. But I think it's time to move on. Huh?
I'm afraid I would have to respectfully disagree with you on that
Well,
one.
no, I was on place for 30 years, and if you do the research at LAPD or all of Los Angeles, they took out their red cameras, San Francisco, all of them. They took them out because they caused more accidents than they solved. But that ain't me. You can just do the research. It's the research. You can just look it up.
I quite frankly, before I came here this evening to say anything,
Yes, ma'am.
I had done quite a bit of research about that, and the number of people that get hit in crosswalks in this city, and on and on and on. We need to do something about our traffic problem. So.
Yeah. That's one other
we'll
issue.
figure it out.
Heads in a crosswalk. We convince heads that crosswalks are safe. No crosswalk is safe. And if you're distracted on your phone, walking in the thing, while a 2-ton car coming, you will be on the ground. But we off track, I'm sorry.
Yes, we are.
Thank you so much for bringing up those residents and community concerns. And if there are no more residents and community concerns at this time, we can move on to city elected officials. Mayor Rick Langiardi, right? Did someone? Oh, yeah, Mayor Rick Langiardi, Representative Landmaster Clark Wright. Sorry, I might have mixed up words in that sentence.
No problem. Aloha, Chair, everyone, members of the board. I wanted to just take this time to start by thanking so many of the community members I see online here that were present on February 13th at Kalihi Elementary School for an amazing performance by the students, very culturally related. And then also the Royal Hawaiian Band was there to perform with them. It was a fantastic sharing of music by the students, and it really continued to put emphasis on how talented our elementary students are in this district, really naturally gifted singing, but also the community support. I see several of you that were there, so thank you for being there. And just a quick note, we went to Kalihi Kai Elementary on March 5th, and very similar as well. The students in this area continue to be very naturally gifted. But thank you again, members that were out there. Appreciate it. All right, the mayor's monthly newsletter is in the chat for you if you want the link there. I'm just going to review it quickly. It entails the city's Wahipana Art Initiative, the new transitional housing shelter at Iwalei Center. Mayor Blangiardi introduces Roy Miyahira, the city's new director of homeless solutions, an important update for Oahu residents on FEMA's flood insurance rate maps. And Honolulu gets designated as a bicycle-friendly community. All of that and more you can find on the mayor's newsletter with the link attached in the chat. Just a couple of follow-up issues from the previous meeting. One involved an abandoned vehicle on 2804 to 2822 Numana Road. Thank you, Mr. Song, for that one. Just a response from CSD, and Inspector marked the tires on February 21st, then went back again on February 24th, and the vehicle was moved. HPD on February 25th made checks in the area, and they did not see the vehicle. And then on that same day, February 25th, I believe they contacted you, Mr. Song, to let you know that the vehicle was no longer there. Thank you for that. The other one involved HPD and the Chinatown security cameras that were mentioned. Board member suggested regarding the creation of a cyber unit of volunteers to assist with the monitoring of cameras in Chinatown from HPD. The proposal for a volunteer cyber unit to assist with monitoring the cameras in Chinatown raises several important considerations before it can be established. These include implementing a thorough vetting and background check process to ensure the participants meet high moral standards, providing comprehensive training on the systems and technology, and integrating them with the Department of the Prosecuting Attorney to clarify the legal ramifications of their observation and the possibility of testifying in court. Additionally, a clear protocol must be established for storing and documenting training records. The volunteer unit has potential, but the current camera system is a significant deterrent. It provides valuable evidence suggesting that the unit may not be necessary at this time. Further evaluation is needed to assess whether such a unit would add benefit or create complications. Okay, so thank you for that one, and that's all I have open for questions or concerns.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? Oh, Mr. Franklin?
How you doing, sir? No, I don't want to make that suggestion for monitoring, but the question we get told all the time is there's not enough police officers. Is he still there?
Hey, Clark, you there?
You there? Can you hear us?
Might be a tech issue. Can you hear us?
I'm so sorry. It's going in and out. The camera and video is breaking up.
Can you hear us now?
It's better now, but you're frozen. You guys are going in and out.
Lynn, is the problem the same for you?
Little gritty, like it's pixelated.
For me, it's not the same situation.
It seems better now.
Okay.
We could try.
Okay, my question is, I suggested cyber unit because we keep being told that crime is out of control and that there's not enough police, you can't hire enough police there, et cetera, et cetera. And if the city it's cheaper to hire security guards like we do at the airport and train them and have them monitor the cameras. I mean, 90% of what they see is on video anyway, so to testify, they're just going to testify they took the camera. But if we don't have enough police and there's so much crime out there, then why won't the city establish a cyber unit of security guards like we do at the airport and have them just monitor cameras and then call the police? They don't go out of the building. They call the police and they just testify to what they see on camera in front of them that they took at that date and time. So if we're not going to hire police because they're not even qualified, they're not enough, or the city offer no subsidies for the police to become police officers like other cities do, then that's why I was saying we need a cyber unit, because not only do Chinatown need cameras, Kalihi Valley need cameras, and I've been checking the resolutions of other cities like Kauai. They want cameras. There are a lot of people who want cameras, and we got them all at the beach. So the question is, who monitors these cameras now? And if we get security guards to do it, we can put police back on the street to stop speeders and whatever else we need them to do. That's my question. I yield back.
Oh yeah, I understand, and I do believe the point that HPD made was that at this present time, they feel that they have a significant deterrent with what's going on, and I think further evaluation is needed to assess whether such a unit would add benefit in the future. But I hear you, Mr. Franklin. I do. Yeah. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Are there any more questions from the board, online or in person? And not any questions from the community, online or in person?
I would like to say something.
Oh, Mr. Rojas?
Yeah, I would like to thank the city and county to moving forward with, especially in our community, just this past weeks that you guys did a major cleanup in area where it's a hot spot and it's moving forward. It's in front of the elementary school, which is, I think it was a good move for a safer sidewalk. And I would like to thank the city officials and whoever made it happen, and everyone in here and also the community who participated in encouraging you folks to get that going. I think that's a great move. I mean, I feel happy. I live Kalihi Valley, and thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Maybe Lynn had something to do with that. Maybe she'll report on that after. But thank you so very much. I appreciate that, Mr. Rojas. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any more questions, online or in person? And if not, I want to thank you. Have a good evening, Mr. Clark Wright.
Mahalo. Thank you. Aloha.
Aloha. Up next is Councilmember Tyler Dos Santos Tan, Constituent Service Director Lynn Robinson.
Aloha, Chair. Aloha, board members, community members. I guess I will start with thank you for your mention of the stored property, ordinance that happened over across from the elementary school. We're very fortunate to work very, very closely with Principal Santos, and so we had all the photo evidence that we needed. I went over and took photos. It just takes a little while for HPD and the Department of Facility Maintenance to coordinate, but I was very glad. Actually, members of our team, to include council member, happened to be there for a read aloud program, and when they pulled up, that's when it was all happening. So it was kind of kismet. But I do want to ask the board and community members that if you do notice, furniture, chairs, whatever, the problem is not only the illegal dumping. It's that it seems to be predominantly like a mattress or furniture or whatever. And then there's the people who decide that sidewalk is their living room, and they're out there in the mornings, and the students don't feel safe, and we're not going to tolerate that. So if you see, that kind of, number one, anything that's blocking the sidewalk and anything that looks like they're making a clubhouse over there again, please reach out to me. My contact information is in the chat, and we'll stay on top of it. And the more inconvenient we make it for them to put the stuff out there and hang out there and intimidate the kids, then I think that it's less likely that that'll continue. So I'll go ahead with my brief report. Bill 52 related to e-bike. Well, the council members' newsletter is in the chat as well, the link to it. So you can refer to all of the details related to this. But regulating e-bikes was signed into law. This measure regulates the possession and use of bicycles and electric bikes. It includes helmet requirements, prohibits e-bike riders from performing wheelies and other stunts, and further regulates high-powered e-bikes over 750 watts under the Honolulu Police Department enforcement. The bill is part of a broader effort to promote responsible e-bike use and promote and improve safety on our streets and in our neighborhoods. I would also like to just call attention. I'm not sure if you've seen the articulated crosswalk that was installed over on North School Street and Ahunui Street. So that was with help with funding with AARP, and we're so thrilled to see that's a super busy crosswalk. So it's not only articulated with the lights, but also has audible signals for those who might be sight impaired. So I would ask that the community slow down in that area. Everybody, that's part of the reason that we needed it. But it's going to take a little bit. So pedestrians and drivers, please just take your time and let's just, make it super safe for everybody. The Pacific Gateway Center and the Refugee Immigration Law Clinic is holding free workshops assisting lawful permanent residents and non-citizen U.S. veterans with their naturalization applications. So that's held at the UH Law School Clinic from 8 to 2 p.m. weekdays. And there's appointments that are required 808-956-0836. That is also in the newsletter, so I don't expect for everyone, but please share that information with anyone that you, especially our vets that have served and may need some assistance. I wanted to follow up. I'm not sure if Jackie Rujano's there, but and I did email her. But we had a couple of months ago, we had some issues with a construction bin that was on the sidewalk, didn't seem to be being used or used properly, related to some construction at 1570 Nobrega. So we asked for it to be investigated, and by the time they got back with us, they said that the bin is no longer on that site. So if anyone there knows any differently, please let me know. But I'm thrilled if that issue was resolved. Lastly, I want to thank you for your patience or understanding that I wasn't able to be here with you folks last month. I'll be traveling in April, but I will make sure that we have a very well-informed, friendly rep here for you folks. And with that, I'll take any questions back.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the board, online or in person? Mr. Lualay Maga.
Hi, Lynn. Just want to thank you for that little area that you guys painted on Kalihi Street.
What got painted?
Just the little section before the bridge going up on Kalihi Street. But just wondering, or just getting an update when the project will continue its way more towards down Kalihi Street.
So the request is in, and I followed up on it, and I didn't hear back from them. So it has a service request number. The project is in the queue. I'm so glad to hear that a portion of it may have been completed. That's a step in the right direction. We're a little frustrated with not being able to get definitive answers. It would be a big, huge project, right? Several cross streets along Kalihi Street, but still, we feel badly that we don't have a timeline for you folks. But we'll continue to follow up. And thanks for the feedback again. There is not a mechanism in the city. There isn't an automatic mechanism that when these projects that we ask for get completed, that they report back to us. I know it's counterintuitive and it's frustrating for us, but so constituent, community feedback is key. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any more questions from the board, online or in person? Any questions from the community? I see Dana has his hand up. If you'd like to unmute.
Yeah, I should be unmuted. Lynn, you know where the queue, where in the queue is the crosswalk for Kalihi School?
No, I don't, and I wish I did. That's another one that I keep following up on, and I'm not getting an answer. So maybe I can circle back with Bandmaster, and he and I can team up to ask for status updates. So that might be just the nudge that they need. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, Dana. I wish I had more.
Are there any more questions? Mr. Rojas.
Lynn, I just have a follow-up question, as far as, okay, we did chase out the homeless living under the bridge in Kilohana and Kalihi Street. We did a good job on that one. Now, there's still a lot of cars parking in there and utilizing that area for fixing their cars and then dumping out unwanted materials that is going to contaminate the land in that area. Like, for example, car parts, motors, bike, motorcycle stuff. So I think, when are we gonna, I remember we requested no parking sign there. So that way that no one was going to park in that specific area. Can you give me an update on that, please?
I actually think it was the mayor's office that made that request. And maybe they can follow up. I would be happy to make our own request. Also, if you could send me photos of what's going on over there, if you can safely take some photos, I will ask community policing to get over there and enforce, and we'll get anything that's illegally dumped out of there. We just have to stay on top of it and again make it really inconvenient for them. So they,
It's
you know.
Kalihi Street and Kilohana.
Okay, I'll see if that happens.
There was supposed to be a follow-up if we was going to put a no parking sign there so that nobody parked there.
Do you know which month this might have been? Was it the end of last year?
I think it's December, November.
Okay.
Because we put the sign up as far as no trespassing so that they cannot go under the bridge and live under the bridge. So we prevailed on that. We did a good job on that.
I remember.
Now it's the street. They're still dumping because of they using that place for fix their cars, hanging out there at night. So there are people and individuals that still park their cars there and they sleep overnight inside their cars. So we could do a resolution as far as maybe adapting that area for some kind of like a community, garden on that area, rather than, people using it for fixing cars and then oil is spilling all over the ground and going into our stream. I think that's an environmental issue.
It is. It absolutely is. Remember that there were some community members that weren't excited about taking away that parking. So, they like that they use it for overflow parking, or just no one's in favor of taking away parking. But I think that request was already put in, and I can absolutely put in a request from our office as well and explain what if you can send me the compelling evidence, and then we can speak to all the other illegal activity, illegal dumping, and hazardous waste that's over there. I think that that's pretty compelling, being that it's kind of controversial, like that other people be like, where did these no parking signs come from? You might want to consider doing a resolution and see, so that you can say that you had the consensus of the board and the community. But either way, if you guys, I just want to make sure that it's not only one board member and everyone is on board with us putting in a request for no parking near over the bridge, right, at Kilohana and Kalihi Street. Are we all good with that? Are you doing that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I will do that for sure then.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you. Are there any more questions from the board or from the community, online or in person? And if not, then I do want to thank you, Constituent Service Director Lynn Robinson. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Aloha.
Aloha. Up next is state elected officials, Governor Josh Green's representative. It's still pending assignment. I don't know if someone who has. Did we get any?
I didn't see anything.
Okay.
I did add the governor's newsletter to the Google Drive.
So no representative yet. I could try to send an email maybe to the governor's office. But up next, and if you have any questions, you can follow up with me or send emails to me with the questions. I can forward it over. But up next, we'll move on to Senator Donna Mercado Kim, Office Representative Kathy.
I'm here. Aloha, everybody. Aloha, chair, members, community members. My community report has been sent digitally to the chair and to you, all board members, and any community member who asked to be on the list. And if you're not, you can send us your email and we will send it to you. I'm just going to highlight some of the things that was on the report. First, just to highlight what's happening at the state Capitol on March 8th. We had a crossover. This is where the Senate bills that passed out of committee and passed third reading on the floor went over to the House, and the House bills have come over to the Senate to go through three readings. We sent over approximately 372 bills out of, I think, 15 bills that were introduced, and the House sent over 374 bills. So we will be reviewing all of that. Some of the the Senate bills that went over, just to highlight, I picked some that I thought of interest of this board. Two of them were relating to fireworks. Senate Bill 227, this one establishes an illegal fireworks enforcement division within the Department of Law Enforcement. And this is to combat the importation, distribution of illegal fireworks. And it allocates funding for the operation and law enforcement support. And this measure is going to be heard in the House Judiciary Committee on Thursday, March 13th. The other is Senate Bill 1324 relating to fireworks. This expands the criminal offense related to fireworks, including sending or receiving fireworks via air delivery, distributing fireworks to non-permit holders. It increases penalties for violations, particularly when fireworks cause serious injury and death. And then this measure will also be heard on Thursday, March 13th, 2 p.m. in the House. Senate Bill 438, this is relating to waste disposal facilities. This will prohibit any landfills, any modifications or expansions of any waste disposal facility from being built over our aquifers. I think a lot of us, especially those of us close to Red Hill, I live in Moanaloa Gardens, we appreciate this, and we establish also a buffer zone of no less than 1/2 mile around any landfill unit. Is not on a buffer, on the aquifer. And that measure is being scheduled also in the House on Thursday, March 13th, in the Committee on Energy and Environment at 9:45 a.m. Senate Bill 1216, this is relating to transportation. It's aimed to reduce noise pollution from vehicles by strengthening regulations against noisy mufflers and exhaust systems. Applies to motorcycles as well as mopeds and motor vehicles. And that hopefully that includes repairing or installing a noisy muffler or exhaust system as a prohibited practice for motor vehicle repair laws. That's being heard by the House again on Thursday, March 13 at 9 a.m. in the Transportation Committee. And just following up, my office did receive from Member Franklin, not just but the board's resolution. And we did follow up on this. We talked with, let's see, HDOT, DTS, and the school's principal at Kalihi Elementary. And we talked with the people on Safe Routes, and they emphasize that Safe Routes is a master plan for policy-based initiatives and problems presented within the resolutions that you folks pass are really isolated problems, which they say need to be handled on a case-by-case basis. So it's not something that Safe Routes will take into consideration, all these individual issues that need to be taken care of. So, but we pursued this, and a lot of the issues that was in the reso are city-related issues. We talked with DTS. They issued a work order to staff to conduct a field inspection and send out work order to DFM to replace any faded signs or markings that need maintenance. A raised concrete crosswalk on Laumile Street is in the process of being proposed with a plan to advertise for construction early next year. And they're looking into electronic speed signs as well, and will update me on any information found or progress made. So we did take everything seriously and did follow up on it. Just also want to let you know that the 11 Neighborhood Board on Monday brought up that the city will be working to put a four-way stop at Hala Drive and Kapalama Avenue. I know that's also been a concern in the sector. Update on Kamehameha School's construction project is still ongoing, so remain aware. The construction-related traffic may also affect the residents on Makuakani Street and Makuakani Place. Project work is scheduled to take place Mondays to Fridays from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then there is an upcoming e-waste recycling event at Moana Loa High School. If any of you have any computers or anything with e-waste that you want to get rid of, and this will be Saturday, March 15th, 8 a.m. to 12 noon. And again, this is at Moana Loa High School. Any proceeds will be used to support the Moana Loa Athletic Booster Club. With that, any questions? I will be happy to respond.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? Mr. Franklin?
Mr. Franklin.
Good afternoon. Yeah, I'm
Good
kind of
evening.
confused. Good evening. I'm kind of confused. Safe Routes from School, who has $10 million in their coffer from federal grants and loans, is not in charge of children safely getting to school? Because they don't give up. Go ahead, ma'am. I'm sorry.
That's not the issue, Franklin. It is the fact that, okay, so they're like a policy committee and they do these broad policy issues. They don't handle individual, like painting of the crosswalks or change the signs. That has to be done case by case individually. And this is why we went directly to the different departments in charge of that for them to take care of it.
Yes, ma'am. I read their website that they don't offer like many grants and loans. They haven't issued one since 2017, so the schools can get that. They haven't issued those out, and yet they say they're sitting on $10 million. I just want to know if that's just to pay staff, because the problem I have with their name, Safe Routes from School, is that children are trying to get safely to school, but they don't care about that. That's one thing. The second thing about the crosswalks, that we wrote the resolution because for 2 years, we're trying to get crosswalks painted in Kalihi Valley so kids can safely cross the street to get there and have the buttons to push. And the speed signs we are talking about been broken for 15 years. The infrastructure is there, but they don't know. They act like they can't put in new signs, and they like they got to run the wires and stuff. The infrastructure, the signs are already there. They're just broken. But for
Yes,
2
but
years,
again, those are city issues, and
yeah.
the city, and that's why we contacted the city, and together with Councilmember Dos Santos Tam, we are working and pushing, and also his staff to get some of these things taken care of.
Yes, ma'am. I understand who it belongs to, but that's why I sent the resolution to everybody from the mayor down, every city council member, everyone. Because if a child dies at that intersection, I want to make sure that this board is covered. That we sent that resolution to everyone, and they failed to take action. Because if somebody get killed in these unmarked crosswalks around a elementary school, I want to make sure this board is covered. So when I present this documentation to anyone, like the news leader, I want to make sure that we at this board try to save Keki's lives. And for 2 years, we got no help from the city council, from DTS, from the Department of Transportation, from no one. That's why the cover letter was addressed to elected officials.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all, ma'am. I just want to cover.
I understand, and I
Yes,
commend the board for doing that. But again, elected officials, we can only go to the departments and ask them. I can't take a paintbrush, although I would love to take the paintbrush and paint. I know I requested that they put back red curbs and they refused to put out red curbs. And I want to tell you this, I was 8 months pregnant and I actually took a red can of paint and painted a curb in Salt Lake where I was living at the time. And I wasn't supposed to do that. But short of that, we can't enforce anything. We can request, we can badger, we can push, and we can keep asking. But at the end of the day, yeah, the mayor is elected and that his departments and the governor and, we got a call today from a woman who didn't get her settlement checks and that comes out of Attorney General. I can't issue checks. We put the money there, the money's there, but I can't write the check. So, we can call them and ask them, but again, that's the
I
bureaucracy.
understand. I just want to CYA this board. And we did all we could do as advisory board.
Yes,
So
and
it's up to the people.
we did as best we can to from our office.
Yes, ma'am. That's
So
all.
thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Rojas?
So, Senator Kim, as far as
Yes.
you're asking the individual departments, is there gonna be a feedback as far as when it's gonna be done or when they're gonna start or any feedback? When is the first feedback?
Well, as I said, DTS said they issued a work order to conduct a field inspection and sent the work order to DFM to replace the faded signs and markings that need maintenance. So they will keep me posted, as they said, and we will also work with Council Member DeSantis Tam. And then they said that, let's see, a raised concrete crosswalk on Laumili Street is in the process of being proposed with a plan to advertise for construction early next year. And that they're looking into the electronic speed signs as well and will update me on any information found. So, that's the information. So we will work again closely with the city council.
Oh, okay. I got one more question.
Mr. Franklin has another question.
Sure.
Last question is, do you know the revenue that fireworks generate to the state?
No,
Thank you.
I don't.
Mr. Sung also has a question.
I'm changing the subject. Follow up from my comment last meeting about Senator Brent Hawaii. Not sure if you had a chance to talk to him.
No, I
But,
didn't talk to him.
Basically, what he said was, you should have been president of UH instead of us hiring some outsider. And he said that you would have been the perfect person because you have the question UH more and you understand the ins and outs of UH better than any other senator or any other person that sits on the board. I thought that was a compliment. Because I was
Yeah, I'm
upset.
surprised he said that because he doesn't really say things or mention that to us, to me. He doesn't say a whole lot. So that is interesting that you brought that up. And I want to just say before the media picks it up and says that, I want to be president of the university, I decline that recommendation. But,
You would have been a perfect fit. And talking about UH Manoa, I don't know if you saw the piece today in the Hawaii Public Radio about UH Manoa.
No, I didn't.
Is 60 colleges warned by the federal government about anti-Semitic claims about the Palestinian protests that you might receive funding cuts.
I saw it in the newspaper, and the governor said he's talked with the White House, and that they said that UH will not be affected because we haven't had that kind of demonstrations and pushback on university campus. So I only know what I read in the paper.
Yeah, it was I know there was a small little protest and it didn't amount to anything compared to Columbia and Harvard and all those other ones where it actually shut down the school. UH was just a couple kids waving signs. Other than that, yeah, I was just bringing that up to your attention.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Anybody else?
Thank you. Any questions from the board, online or in person? Any questions from the community, online or in person? See and hearing none. Thank you so much,
Thank
Senator
you, guys.
Donna.
See you the
Have a
next
good
meeting.
evening.
You too.
Thank you. Up next is state elected official Representative Ikaika Hasi.
Hey. How's it going? I have a few items that I can report. So the governor just released funds for community capital improvement projects at Dole Middle School and at Kalihi Elementary. In the current version of the House budget, so the House just passed its budget actually today. In that budget, there's about $250,000 that I asked for specifically for beautification projects in Kalihi Valley. And so that's money that would be used for like the crosswalk improvements or painting murals or all the things that we will immediately see and experience. At the intersection of Hala and Kapalama, my understanding, I forget who told me this, is that they're planning to put a four-way stop. I know some folks have been pushing for kind of a more comprehensive approach, maybe you make it into a signalized intersection or a roundabout or something like that. But I think a four-way stop is a good starting point, at least, just to get people used to the idea that we can no longer just kind of jam down Kapalama and run the risk of heavy accidents. So that's a good thing. Last week Wednesday, I think, we had a town hall at Kapalama Elementary. And the subject for that town hall was looking at the impacts of the federal budget changes and how that's going to specifically impact our community in Kalihi Valley. So, like for instance, the custom Medicaid, how that's going to impact Kalihi Valley, which sees a lot of patients here in Kalihi. The loss of Title I monies for the various elementary schools, etc. So that kind of thing. And it was a really good discussion. Amy Agbayani, who also lives up in Kalihi Valley, she came to talk about some of the changes in ICE, deportation efforts, and how that's affecting Kalihi. And especially because Kalihi is actually, I think, they're the highest percentage of immigrants in the entire state, in our one little district, which is something I'm incredibly proud of. So we had that conversation, and that was last week. And I just wanted to end by saying, for Simeon, what you were talking about with Lynn about Pilohana, that area, it kind of strikes me personally as a problem of where unless you live in that, except for the folks who live in that neighborhood, the area around the stream is like it's almost like an alley. Like most people don't see it, right? If you're driving up and down Kalihi Street, it's sort of invisible. And because it's a space a lot of people don't see, it becomes a kind of a habitat for a lot of undesirable activity. And I'd be interested in having a conversation that the neighborhood board would lead about ways to kind of change that land use. Is there something else we could put there instead of that kind of what has become sort of a de facto parking lot and a moped repair shop? I have no idea what that might be, but there's families right around there. I kind of want to go and talk to them and say, there's a guy who lives right across. He has a couple of kids, and they're always playing, and are there ways that we can make that space more usable for the families there? And we could use some of that $250,000 that we got for beautification for that kind of effort.
Or we can talk to the neighborhood who lives around that area.
Exactly.
And then they can even make a alternative ways of utilizing the parking space. Yeah. Not just those guys who's fixing cars or using that place illegally. They could alternate parking there because of course they need parking spaces. Or what we could do is just beautify that place, like you said. We could make one their small community garden in their area. Yeah. And then it will be kept clean and all that stuff.
I think as much as possible getting those people that live right here.
Yeah, we dedicate that.
They're the ones who.
No, we should
basically. Yeah, we dedicate that for them. We dedicate that for them.
A little dinner, just of all the neighbors over there, and just talk story about what are better ways to use that space.
Yeah.
It would be the people that would know best use for that area. I mean, they
Native trees.
live there, they seen
And
that
every day.
transition.
The biggest part there is the safety of that area. And then we started out already as far as like the encampment of the, those people who does illegal things there. So that was the hardest part. Now the second part is, let's make that place to be a nice place.
It should be really nice, and it is kind of beautiful,
Yeah.
right? There's a beautiful stream. I mean,
It's a safe place, it's not high traffic. You know, Lynn had a good idea, is to just continuously have residents adjacent to that area call, so that if they're doing, illegal stuff, the rules can be enforced. And, pretty soon they're gonna find out that it's not a place for them to comfortably hang around.
Right.
So we can.
We could do a committee for that area and have one committee meeting right over there once a month and just talking, and then we'll figure it out and do a master plan type of a thing.
Yeah.
And then eventually invite, the different areas, have a first conversation with the neighbors as a committee.
Let's have a meeting right there on that spot.
Yeah.
Set up some portable tables. I'll bring some food.
That is fine, right?
Invite those guys.
I'm on
Invite-
board with
invite-
Wi-Fi.
There's one big.
It's not a park, but it's on the street.
Side of the street.
Yeah.
We can have it doesn't have to be an official neighborhood board meeting. I can host the meeting, as your state rep, and I'll just invite everybody.
Yeah, there's only one problem there. It's that one person who, or a family that living in that house, in one house, that it seems like they've been living there for free. I don't know what's really going on. They're living on generator power. They off-grid. So they're the one who really occupying that whole place, inviting all those people that does not really live. They don't even probably live in Kalihi Valley. They friends that's from different places, and they come in. If we can talk to him nicely and say, hey, you know what? Let's make this area be a respectful place.
So there's those folks. Then there's another house on the other side of Kalihi Street that they're very friendly and welcoming to some of the folks who are living underneath the bridge. We should go talk to them too. I think there's a few.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, there's a few things.
I've been watching that area.
Yeah.
Closely, because that's one of my job is, neighborhood security watch. I would love to invite more people that really concerned about that area, who wants to participate in the neighborhood security watch. I've been trying my best to go, house to house, door to door, but again, the people's feeling of being secure, it's not there. So that's why we, as an official, and encourage more other people to come out. And that's what that's the bottom line. Let's get more people out there, and you're right. Maybe let's have a meeting there and invite those people. Let's have the courage to go for it.
For that one house you're talking about, I think you need to get Lynn involved with that one house.
City?
Yeah, the city involved.
We did at one point. They did check the background.
Yeah.
They checked the background. What is the status of that house?
Yeah, so that's something that we should do and do it legally and try to figure all that stuff
Sure.
out and go through it.
But by means, take the lead.
Okay, all right.
And I'm there for
I'll have my office set that up.
to beef up the neighborhood security on that area. And
Look to be
hopefully-
notified as well.
Okay, sure, of course. I'll let everyone know.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Are there
President.
Are there any bills moving to the legislature that you'd like to discuss with me?
What about the soda tax, the soda can tax? They're gonna raise it up 5 cents. Did that make it through,
I haven't seen that.
Okay, I heard about it.
Okay.
I don't care for regressive taxes. It's no good.
Yeah. How would you feel, James, about like a tax on sugary sodas?
Anything that's regressive tax, forget it.
We're not gonna do it. We don't like it.
Yeah. No, because, what we should be doing is encouraging growth in this, in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Not encouraging people struggling day by day,
Yeah.
right? We shouldn't be punishing people.
Yeah. What I'm trying to figure out is how do we raise money? Because we're looking at like somewhere on the order of a $2 billion cut from the federal government.
Oh, I already know the answer, where to get it and how to raise the money. I mean, Delaware is losing billions of dollars. 1/3 of their budget is, I mean, from one industry, 1/3 of Delaware's budget is disappearing, and they're panicking now. But it's just legislation and deregulation and 2 steps. It'll take tourism down to the 3rd place. Agriculture, we could bring agriculture back.
Okay, so let's talk offline, and then I think Simeon and then Brandy both have.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that on. Right now I'm part of the pilot program for farm to school.
Okay.
And it's already started, but the budget was already there a long time ago. And only now it's being done.
Yeah.
So you talk about the money cuts that might happen in the future. This is where we gotta be all week, and we can bring it up. Let's be sustainable. Let's provide our own, our own food for the schools and for our community, and let's be here. Let's do our work here and keep it in Hawaii, so we can be sustainable. And then you can break that ice and mention it because that's very important.
Yeah, I mean that's an incredibly affordable program. It's only like $70 million that we can pay for meals for all.
And rather
all
than we
kids.
buying from the mainland, let's rely on our sources here.
I agree.
Yeah.
We don't have to this up. We gotta change. Sorry. Let me just make sure that Brandy has a chance.
Do you know the revenue that the fireworks bring into the state?
The revenue that the fireworks
How many
brings.
billions of dollars that they bring to the state?
Yeah, that's a city issue, because they're going with the permits.
You know what I mean? Revenue they bring in anyway. They have to come in the state. All the bills for fireworks, the real bills to ban fireworks and go after the people that bring them here, like dope.
Yeah.
Instead of that, we want the police department to run around and get them out of the sky or whatever kind of craziness they want to do and starting all these units. But I'm trying to figure out, we'll never get rid of fireworks because it brings in what, $1 billion a year to
Yeah, it's probably
the state?
something like that, right?
Yeah, so my question for that is, if it brings in that much money, why are these watered down bills that nothing's gonna stop nothing?
Yeah.
And you're gonna keep getting aerials all over the place? That was my first question.
My guess is more in the order of like 125 million, but it's a
gotta
lot
be
of money.
more than that.
Representative, what about if you create a place where we all can pop fireworks legally, and rather than we doing them at home, find a place where we can go and do some explosion, and then we still can be able to buy fireworks, and then we still can bring revenue in legally.
Watching this island, everybody does fireworks, and you don't do them, your neighbor do them, and everybody's standing outside watching them.
Let's go somewhere where we
so
can
many
do
fireworks all
awesome
over the city.
One thing I'm thinking is, what if for New Year's this coming year, we sponsor an official Kalihi Valley fireworks
area
thing, a party.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you still gonna have people pop them all over the place, plus aerials, most of it is illegal, so we'll be breaking the law. I just want to know why we won't stop it, because it generates revenue. And another thing to generate revenue, I'm trying to figure out, we legalize marijuana, why, if they wanna generate revenue for the police and fire and the county nurses, why won't have a lottery, or why don't we, instead of building the stadium for nobody to play in, that we're gonna have to put up 4 to 5, it'll never be cost neutral. And build 2 hotel casinos with a concert go in, get somebody like Meta to put their name on the stadium, and get over to the NFL and say, before we build this waste of money, let's see if we can get the NFL or the American Soccer League to sponsor it and build what they want, so we can get the Pro Bowl back. But everyone keeps acting like people on this island don't gamble.
Yeah.
But they call Vegas the 9th island because everyone gambles. And if we did that, we wouldn't have to deal with all the illegal gambling houses because they have somewhere to go.
Yeah, so the sports betting bill is moving through the process.
But that's not a casino.
It's not a casino.
It's not illegal. We got all that land up there, we're gonna, around the stadium that we're gonna give away to developers. So why not build 2 hotel casinos that generate millions and billions of dollars for the state of California, for the state of Hawaii?
I'm not actually convinced that the stadium project is gonna move forward.
It shouldn't.
I think it's gonna.
It's a dump. They say it's $500,000, but everyone in here knows that it's gonna be $2 billion. From kickbacks and layover and whatever else they take on it, it's a waste of money and it'll never be cost neutral. Even if you build that monstrosity, the taxpayer is still gonna have to do $4 to $5 million a year maintenance. It will never be cost neutral.
I have talked to the architect and the developer, because he's in my building.
Will it be cost neutral? Did he say it'll be cost neutral?
No, those things
All
are
they have,
subsidies for.
all they have to do, their main goal is by 2028, the stadium. All the other things around is gonna be after the stadium.
Yeah, but then my question is, why should we build this $2 billion stadium and then we gotta pay, the taxpayers gotta pay $4 to $5 million a year to maintain it? Why are we not gonna build something that'll be cost neutral? And the question is, why didn't we get Meta or somebody wanna stick their stupid name on it, like X or anybody, and then build it to the specifications of the NFL, American Soccer League, so we the taxpayers don't have to pay for it? But it's gonna be a bill of $2 billion, and then it's gonna be maintenance every year that we gotta keep up. So everybody, the only people making money is the contractors and the people that's gonna get the land.
Yeah,
And
that
the
might be the
taxpayers
only way
that's
to
stuck
move
with it.
forward, is if it gets some kind of major corporate sponsor.
Yeah.
Is there any naming rights that's happening for that?
I'm not sure. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
imagine
It's gotta be.
It's easy.
I asked this question 2 years ago.
I mean, there's already, we have built-in processes for, if a company wants to go and donate money essentially to the state, they can do that. Sure.
It's gonna be like the rail, we'll get stuck with the rail bill for 10, 50 years. I'll be dead, we still won't have the rail paid off. But I'm sorry, thank you, I just wanted to ask those questions. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, for your beautification or funds.
Yeah.
So you're the one who's controlling it as far as.
No, so I
what
made the
happens once
request,
it goes
I made the
through?
request that, I suggested that the money should go to the State Foundation of Culture and the Arts. Cause they're like they're the only entity within the state bureaucracy that handles arts, you know? And so they would be the actual agency that would receive the money, and then, you know, we would work with them to have it spent.
Hopefully we can get a zero in Kalihi and
Yeah,
Kalihi
zero would be
Valley
nice.
somewhere, if they're everywhere else.
How does that process work? If you say we would work with them, how would that, how would proposals get,
Does the board has the power? Does.
I think, yeah, we would, when it comes to that point, you know, around May, we'll set up a meeting with.
Well, it has to pass first.
Has to pass,
Does that
right.
happen?
So.
Can it support sustainability committee?
Can what?
Can that beautification support sustainability?
Sure, it should support everything.
Okay. That's good.
We should all be part of it.
How much was the funding?
I asked for $250,000.
A quarter?
A $250,000. It's a lot of paint.
Can you ask for more?
Next year.
Sure. How much you want?
Hey, Kalihi Valley, right? Anything for Kalihi Valley, right?
And there's gonna be other places too, right? I'm sure.
We can think out of the
No,
box.
it's just for Kalihi.
Oh,
Your
really?
question is for.
Oh.
I think I called it
It's for Kalihi or Kalihi Valley?
Kalihi Valley. I called it the Historic Kalihi Valley Beautification Project.
250,000 is all. Okay.
Yeah, just for.
What's your sense of chance of passing?
Pretty high. I mean, it's in the budget. Yeah. Who knows, right? It's in there. We'll see.
Thank you so much. Are there any more questions from the board or community online or in person? And if not, thank you, Ikai Hasi, for being here in person. And
Okay.
have a good evening. And if you could stay just to,
Oh,
because I just want to announce like the Aqua again. And you can
For the bike
correct
ride.
me. Yeah,
Oh,
I just have
yeah.
a question for that because I couldn't find it on the flyer.
Okay.
But it's just part of that announcement. But okay. Next, we're gonna do approval of regular meeting minutes, Wednesday, February 12th, 2025. Can I get a motion? Oh, I think I saw Gadi's hand. So moved by Mr. Gadi, any second? Second by Mr. Sung. Are there any discussions or revisions on the minutes? Seeing and hearing none, if that is the case, then we can just vote by ayes and nays, right?
Sure.
Okay. So if everybody agrees, or if anyone agrees, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Okay. The approval of regular meeting minute for Wednesday, February 12th has been passed. Up next is committee reports and assignments. Any reports or assignments, or anyone wanted to mention a date or anything? Doesn't have to be right now. Oh, Mr. Lulemaka?
Yeah, so we're starting, restarting a newsletter for our committee. So if your committee has something that you guys want to bring up, event or whatever that your committee is working on, and you guys want to highlight that we want to include in our newsletter, my email is, I guess, other things. So just if you want, whatever you want to include, email me maybe like 2 weeks prior to our next meeting, so I can include it into our newsletter. And I'm slowly building a email list, so we can I can email it to you a week prior to the meeting, and then we'll have copies printed out for those that are attending. So yeah. So for those that are in your committees, like, let me know if you want to include, just so we can keep the community updated on what your project you're working on or some of your goals in your community. Yeah.
Maybe can I bring it up? Maybe? Okay, so I'm looking for one co-coordinator for the neighborhood security watch.
Okay.
So we can announce that.
Okay.
What days do you do the walk?
Yeah.
Well, that's
For what time?
Well,
Yeah.
there was a change. That's why last meeting I was trying to figure out who is in charge of the policing team, because Officer Ng, I think they moved him in different department. But according to Sergeant Martinez, it's okay to coordinate with him. So the reason why we didn't walk much is because there's a lot of people that wants to come in and be part of it. So they have to be trained. So I was trying to figure out how can I train them so that we can increase. But I realized so many things going on at this point with my part, on my personal side. I think now I was hoping that I could recruit more captains for each streets, or maybe even couple streets. But this has to be more like kind of participation, and I need more help.
More training.
And more training. The training is pretty much the policing team would conduct a classroom, and then usually we go at Kalihi School, and then they would talk about what is the perimeters as far as like what we can do, and then
You can't do it until you take the training. Okay.
or eventually you can come and participate in certain walks.
Mr. Lulemaka had a follow-up.
Yeah. So not anyone can just join in the neighborhood walk. You have to be trained in order for us to go on these walks, or
It would be nice to be trained.
oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So that way we all, like when we walk, we're like, we all in sync. We know what's going on. We're aware of what we're supposed to do. But that's why it's when we do one neighborhood security walk, we really need the policing team to escort us. So that's what the part was. So the policing team is the one to coordinate the security.
Also, HPD goes with us.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So that's the reason why it's been like
delayed.
kind of like delayed.
Oh,
and
okay,
stuff
okay,
like
okay,
that,
okay. So if you can put all the information and email it to me,
Yeah, I'm gonna
I
do
can
it.
attach that on a newsletter.
Yeah, use that.
For those,
So
yeah,
that's excellent.
Mr. Franklin, did you have something to add?
Also, you're talking about training, I mean, so you not have liability. You're gonna have to write out what you want people, what you expect from them.
Right.
I mean, because they can't arrest people, they can't put their hands on people, they can't touch people. So a neighborhood watch is basically just walking down the street and observing people. So if you want a security guard, then you're gonna have to write a synopsis of what you expect from them, so you can hand out to each participant. And what are you looking for in a neighborhood watch?
Well, that's what the covers. It covers everything that we need.
But who give the class and have the class have
It's
a
gonna be the policing team.
So they gonna give, right, so you have to coordinate with them first to give a class.
Yeah.
All right.
And then at the same time, I also coordinate the captains and members of the street. So as much as, let's say for example, in one street, your street, we could recruit as much members.
Right.
And then we all gather up, my coordination would be like, I would like to walk certain areas.
Right.
And then, and then at one whole month, we could walk all the whole Kalihi Valley.
All right. Yeah, but then you gotta look at what the time, most of the time.
So that's the goal. That's the goal.
So, will you guys be providing vests and flashlights
Vest,
for the?
flashlight, I also provide clipboards for like the individuals, just in case, they see something on the street, like maybe, there's a big pothole, or there's a rising sidewalk,
Can we have Mr. Franklin assigned to like KBT and Camp 4
Yeah.
this area?
No, well, you know what I'm trying to do?
Give me a level heights.
Right now, I'm recruiting,
I walk to those areas all the time. I really do. I go in the areas all the time. I do. I park my car and go talk to people.
And then what is his name again? The person from Las Vegas, he's a Farrington. Lamati. Yeah. He probably nothing.
Oh, okay.
Because he goes to the Lady of the Mushrooms. So eventually I recruiting him on Camford roadside because he has family, I think the Nongas on that side. So that's why I was kind of like trying to recruit him.
I tried to recruit him for 4 months, it didn't work out.
He's still gonna come.
Okay.
So.
How many people do we have currently who are volunteering?
Okay, so it first started out with people who had problems in the street. That's the one I kind of, okay, you better sign in because you have concern in our community. So they are the one. But then when the problem goes away, sometimes it's kind of like, hey, you got to bug them and it's kind of like, hey, how are you doing? But they took the class and everything. Yeah. So the goal is to have more.
All right, back on Chris real quick. I told Chris that you have the Facebook page and our site already up for Kalihi
Yeah,
Valley.
Facebook and Instagram, I have it linked, so you can just post on Instagram and it'll repost
Yeah,
on
we're
Facebook
gonna
as well.
do that. Spencer, really quickly, can we do Kalihi Valley have any mailing list? Anybody on it? Can we have that list?
I can ask. I'm not sure if it's public information.
I thought it belonged to the board. So we can't. The people that want the flyers sent to their house and stuff, we can't have them.
So our office is required by law to send agendas and minutes to anyone who signs up to receive them. I'm not sure if it's public to share with the board. It's not like you guys own the list or anything. It's just whoever wants to get it can get it.
So we have to go and get our own.
Create our own list.
Yeah.
All right, we'll just go big for our own list. I thought because they were sending people was interested in what Kalihi Valley Board did, that we could. I guess we should put in our newsletter that you sent out to the people that we are requesting their emails and they should contact the board for all the events that go on the board.
Yeah, so I would say maybe in an agenda item or something, you can put it in there.
I was gonna ask could we forward it to you? That way you could forward it as NCO. I don't know if that.
I have a list. You can send it to me.
Oh, you can have a list. We could just send it to our representative. I think you guys have a bigger list, right? He has a list.
I'll ask if I can share it too. This never came up before.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, you know what? Something I've been meaning to do is we're gonna start doing like a regular newsletter. I was thinking I'd like to just devote like a page in it just to whatever the neighborhood board wants to.
That's what I was.
Oh, okay. So like maybe you could work with Luke.
Yes. So you know what? Send me stuff and we'll put it into the newsletter.
Right. Or we're just gonna link to our newsletter too, so they can get.
Exactly.
Right.
Oh,
Put a QR code, whatever.
Yeah, we can send a link to
How
our
big our
newsletter.
newsletter gets. If everyone writes.
So, is there a restriction as far as, when we're trying to promote and go to like house to house or individuals who live in it? As a bank, like for example, we want to promote this or that we report. Is there any some type of restriction? Like even like for example, we want to make a flyer and we want to send it to house or to any individual within the community.
Yeah.
Is there any type of restriction or like guidelines?
Yeah, so if you were to go door to door, I would just say that don't trespass or anything, but other than like breaking the law, you would be fine. There's no like neighborhood plan rules that says you can't go to a certain house, you know.
We're not immune? Okay.
As long as you're not soliciting
Just
for
checking.
money.
Yeah, as long as you follow all those posted signs and you don't jaywalk and all that.
No, I guess it's just reaching out to people and saying that, you know what, we are the neighborhood board, members, and we just want to announce all this stuff that's happening in this community.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
You know?
Just don't wear your black t-shirt at night.
Okay, we can neighborhood boards. We also have how do we get a budget for, can we change what our uniform?
So
Can we enhance it?
If you give me something to bring to the office, then I will ask. Because if the board wanted to do like a cleanup or something, we would, we have in the past gotten like the trash pick, like the tongs, the long tongs, and we could supply you with things. You just have to ask, and then has to be considered.
Could we get like vests for the neighborhood
So
board?
we
And
have-
like like neighborhood 16 or whatever.
Yeah, we have vests now in the office. I don't know if they're to give out to keep or if you get to use them for events and then they stay hours for other boards. I'll ask if that's like to keep or it doesn't say neighborhood board, it's just the Amazon
Right.
high vis vest.
Also, do we have a budget for neighborhood board, like Alan's shirt? Is there something for a
Yeah,
budget
so
in place for that, or?
So the NCO bought T-shirts for the board members the 40th anniversary, I think it was.
Over the 50.
50th. So yeah, we try and buy things that to keep the boards going. If you have any comments on it, you can talk to my boss Lloyd. But we go case by case basis for each board. If they want to ask for something, then they're welcome to ask. I know Kailo is going to an I Love Kailo town party, and they're gonna pay registration fee. They gotta get a fire extinguisher to have at the booth, and that's like a $50 thing. And they do it every year, and they print out some like flyers or whatever. So they're using funding. You guys can use some. You guys use too. Just make a request as long as it's nothing crazy. It would be possible. We're very flexible and open. We just want you guys to get out there and do stuff, and and yeah.
Yeah, but we're looking for t-shirts with our name on them, like
a
Big Valley
specific
16.
board. Okay.
Not like those shirts that go with the NOC and they're in black. We like really pretty colors.
Yeah,
in
we're
the
not
daytime.
designers in our office. We kind of just we use 4-inch print.
Yeah.
We're not.
Like banners.
Can we put in a request though? Like,
Yeah,
like a blue shirt?
Absolutely.
Turquoise.
Send a design, make it easy because we're not designers.
And then he had brought Randy had brought about banners.
We've been doing that for 3 years now.
Yeah, so I know you guys requested 10 banners and that was denied.
Can we 5?
Can we buy our own banners because there seems like there's no money. I sent out you might have got it. They sent out a survey today, and I responded back to it and sent everybody a copy of it. Because the survey was like caca. And it asked about, did you like your board members? Do you like this, that? Nothing about, do you have a budget? Will you help us? Do you want to support us? Nothing of that nature.
Well, for those questions, you just asked us.
Doesn't the board have an outreach budget for communications?
So there was $1,000 a couple years ago, 2022 or 2023.
2017 was the last time they did it.
Yeah, nobody ever did anything like that before. They've never gotten T-shirts. So yeah, we're trying to make changes and get you guys stuff out there. That was kind of a one-time deal, and we still offer money. Like I said, you just got to make requests.
So again, more good one, Spencer. So let's say, for example, could we create like a fundraiser for something that's going to benefit the board? Like for example, if let's say, okay, we want a banner, and let's say that banner is like something that is unique, and we gotta spend money to get it, and we would ask the NCO for permission to create a fundraising for that. Could we
I don't
do that?
think we
Could
do
we
that,
those kind of
no.
things?
That violates sunshine law.
No.
Not sunshine law, but it just.
But is the purpose for the NCO?
I don't think the city allows board members as volunteers to handle any kind of money. I mean, at least publicly with my knowledge, I don't know if other boards, maybe they do car washes quietly, but, nothing like that.
Only for the purpose of what needs of the board.
The neighborhood board could establish a 501c3
That's what I was gonna.
that runs in parallel to the neighborhood board. You could have a bunch of the same members and use, kind of treat it like a booster club. Like if there's a paddling team, the paddling team might have a booster club that supports the paddling team. So all the same people, and you use the booster club to raise money and to have it would have its own bank account. You could do like a newsletter, and in the newsletter you request donations that goes through the booster club, and it supports the work that every board must do.
I tried to do that already because I own a 501(c)(3). I do.
Well, we're asking permission.
But here's the thing, Simeon. They said that's against the law. The board cannot own a 501(c)(3) itself. We have to find an organization that already has a 501(c) and join them. And then the money and everything will go through them, and we will be tagging along with them. If not, we violate the law.
That's right. Correct.
So, because I own a 501(c), and I was like, since I own one, let's just do it. But they said, no, we cannot.
Yeah, it needs to be an arm's length organization.
Yes.
But the way you do it is you have like a couple of overlapping board members to coordinate between the two groups.
Yeah.
You cannot associate that 501(c) with the neighborhood board commission.
Not with the neighborhood board commission, and not officially with the neighborhood board, but you would say, okay, maybe Simeon and Randy and Michael and Alan
Doing
and
their
Chris,
own,
all happen to be
separate from the neighborhood.
Right.
all happen to be on the C3 board.
Right, because I tried to join clean up 808 to do all the screens and stuff that Simeon talking about.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't come to the board and they didn't want to join the board or do anything with the board. And then I was like, okay, we'll go help you clean up somewhere. Just come to Kalihi Valley, help us clean up. Oh, they got other projects they want to do. But I tried to join clean up 808, all the rest of them. I called them like 2 years ago when I was working on stuff. Yeah.
So Dina has his hand up.
Okay.
If you'd like to.
I guess we should move on so we can get out of here.
Okay.
We're almost done.
Yeah.
Christina, you have your hand up? You want
Yeah,
to,
I just wanted to.
Jerry, you cut out there.
Dina, are you still there? We're not able to hear you on our end. Anything?
You can put it in the chat too, and then I can read it.
Yeah.
I have the announcement.
Oh, you have the announcement. Okay. Got it. I'm going. Yeah, I gotta do chair's report real quickly, which is basically the announcement for other things that was sent to me. So, I don't think Lynn Robinson brought this up, but there is a Kalihi appliance trade-up program to share with you guys, the board and community members. And it's going right now in Kalihi. So if you live in 96817 or 96819, you're eligible. So you can trade in your old inefficient fridge for a new Energy Star fridge for $250, including free haul away of the old one. Signups are open until the end of March. And so I do have the flyer. It's already uploaded in the drive. And there's 4 steps on how to participate. And for questions, you contact Susanna Wesley Community Center. So call 808-847-1535 or sign up at hawaiienergy.com/Kalihi. And then of course, going back to the Kalihi Aqua ride on Saturday, April 12th. I just had a question about the registration. Is there a due date of when to register?
I think so.
$10.
There's a $10 registration, but I just wanted to know if there's a due date to register online, I believe. Unless it's just April 11th, I guess, the day before.
No.
I think there
I
needs to
think
be
as soon as possible.
As soon as possible?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it goes fast.
There's reserve, like there's a set amount.
They run out of.
There's
They
a
run out of.
maximum amount of participants.
Yeah.
Is it on here?
We'll do them now.
Okay, well, I'll just sign up right now so we're on the list. Okay, I just wanted to know if there was a due date, but I know because they need to know how many people are there to get the proper amount of bikes. So that's why I wanted to know if there's a due date. But okay, so as soon as possible.
Sir, Chair, what is that event?
Oh, the chair is the Kalihi Aku Pua'a ride. So it's all the way from the top of Kalihi going down to I think San.
When is it, sir?
It's on April 12th.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say you could put that in the newsletter
Yeah,
as
yes.
well as like cleanup notices from Simeon,
Yeah.
even the election for the neighborhood
Oh,
board.
yes,
Yeah, we have 11 people registered in Kalihi Valley.
Are you able to forward me that information?
Yeah, it's actually on February. It's in the February drive, so you can just keep it, put it in the next newsletter. The bridge one is in the March. I uploaded in March. Yeah, and I guess that's it for my chair's reports. Announcements now. So food drive, canned food donations will be accepted at the April 2025 regular meeting. This is our meeting.
Yeah, so
Oh.
I'll have a box to bring. NCO's doing a food drive. This is for the Hawaii Food Bank.
For the who?
The food bank?
Or the food bank,
Yeah.
Hawaii Food Bank.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where's the collection?
Where's the collection?
Here.
Put it over here.
So I'll
Just
have
bring
a
it
box.
next
I'll have a box. I'll put it like right over there. But I think can't
Next meeting is Wednesday, April 9th, 2025 at 7 p.m. at Kapalama Hale, room 227, or will it be this room?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I wasn't available tonight. I'll see. So either 153 or 277.
153, and that will be the same time as the canned food donation. And then broadcast meetings, neighborhood board meetings aired on Olelo Channel 49 on the 4th Saturday of the month and 6 p.m. at the first and third Sunday of the month at 9 a.m. And
I think this is what Dana Yap probably wanted to announce.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll read it. Farrington High School's School Community Council monthly meeting. They would like for anyone to join us on April 14 at 6 p.m. The doors will open at 5:30 at the school cafeteria. A light dinner will be provided. We will also be having bingo and prizes. So if you plan to attend, you must sign up by utilizing this QR code. Yeah, I went online, Farrington High School. If you go on the website, you can register online as well. And I'm sure you can call the school, just call the general school number and say, hey, I'd like to come. Anyway, the due date to sign up is April 7th, 2025.
And what is the date of the event?
The event date is Monday.
Monday,
Please
April.
join us Monday, April 14 at 6 p.m. And the nice thing is they'll be serving a late dinner and having bingo and prizes for Farrington High School.
Because you gotta register them. I didn't think from the.
Sure.
Thank you.
That was from
Is that all the
Dana Yap.
info? Is everything?
That's it.
Thank you.
I gave it to Chris, who also put me in newsletter.
Thank you.
Can we give it more? Are there any more announcements at this time online in person? Okay, and if not, then this meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.